There we go. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your schedules to join us for this informative webinar on teaching English online. I'm sure for those of you who are joining us today, I'm sure you have probably heard a bunch of things about online English teaching. I'm sure you have a bunch of questions about online English teaching. And I know that in today's webinar, we will be able to answer most of your questions, if not all. And I know that in today's webinar, we will definitely show you how, as I believe, online English teaching is one of the best alternatives for earning either an extra income or a very sustainable salary to sustain yourself living in South Africa. And I'll also show you why I believe that and how you can use this opportunity to also earn a very sustainable income. So my name is Zander. I am the Regional Director for eTEFL Online for the African continent. I am also an online English teacher myself and have been for the past 4.5 years. And I haven't looked back for one day being just a simple employee working for a company for so many different reasons. The fact that I get to control my own income, I get to control my own schedule, and I get to earn a very sustainable income living and working from South Africa. So in today's webinar, there are a few things that I want to touch on in our session today. First of all, I want to touch on how teaching English online works. So I do realize that for probably most of you, although you've heard a lot about online TEFL teaching, I do realize that probably you're not exactly sure how it works, the ins and outs of being an online English teacher. I also want to talk about who can become an online English teacher. So many people out there believe that because they have no teaching background or teaching experience, that they might be disqualified from being online English teachers. And I want to sort of debunk that myth in today's session. I also want to show you how much you can earn from teaching English online, which obviously is a very important question for so many people considering this as a career, is how much can I realistically earn in the industry or the world of online teaching. And then last but not least, I want to show you if you have decided that you either want to make a career change, you want to earn an extra income, or you want to earn more as an online teacher, where you should start and what are the first steps for you to take. So with that said, let's jump straight into how teaching English online works, right? So a question that I get quite frequently is who are your students? Like, if I become an online English teacher, who will I be teaching? Now, I think there are a couple of groups to consider when asking this question. First and foremost, you will be teaching adults ranging from the age of 20 to the age of 65 years old. And I have personally also taught and am still teaching today people in this specific age range. Now, the reason for these students wanting to learn English from you and being willing to pay good money to take lessons with you is for a couple of different reasons, right? First of all, some people need it for their studies. They want to study abroad, or they're already studying abroad, and they need your help to become more comfortable using the English language. A lot of people out there are taking English lessons online for work-related reasons. They are working in a multinational or international company, and they need to execute some of their work-related tasks in the English language, and they're willing to pay you good money to help them to do exactly that. Some people need it for immigration. Either they're planning on immigrating to an English-speaking country, or they've already done so. They've already immigrated. They're living in an English-speaking country, but they don't feel as confident as they would like to be, and they're willing to pay you good money to help them to be more comfortable. Travel. Some people love traveling the world, and they want to make sure that they're able to find their way a bit more easily using the English language. And then finally, there are a small group of people that just see this as a hobby. They love learning languages. They know that English could potentially open up new opportunities for them. And so they want to take lessons with you in order to help them to learn English simply as a hobby. So that's your first group of students you will be teaching. Secondly, you will be teaching children. Now, obviously, the great thing about being an online teacher is you get to choose. If you don't like teaching children, you don't have to. You don't like teaching adults, again, you don't have to. But there is an opportunity for you to teach children aged between 5 and 18 years old for various different reasons, mostly for school. They have English as a subject, and they need you to help them to get better marks at school. Probably one of the biggest reasons you will teach children is because of their parents. So many parents in Europe and Asia today realize that they never spent the time to learn English, which means that the international workplace is not very accessible for them, and they don't want their kids to make the same mistake. And so many of these parents are, let's call it, very gently forcing their kids to take online lessons, and they're willing to pay you to help their children. And then last but not least, also immigration. I've worked with so many kids who've immigrated to English-speaking countries, and their parents need your help to assist their kids in being more comfortable using the English language. All right. Now, the next question that I get asked quite frequently is, where will you be teaching? Like, where do you find jobs once you've gotten your TEFL certificate? And there are a few different options that we help you with in our courses, right? So the first and easiest option and way to get started as an online teacher is with online schools and academies. We help you to find employment with these institutions. We are very familiar with them. I have personally gone through their interview processes, their onboarding processes, and I've worked for many of these companies. And we help you to find employment with them because we know what they're looking for. And we also know which schools are hiring South Africans. Secondly, freelance platforms is a very, very good strategy that we teach you and help you with in our trainings in order to find students that give you the opportunity to build your own freelance business. You also see that this is an opportunity and a strategy that enables you to earn a lot more compared to working for online English schools. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later in our session. And then last but not least, private students, right? So there's opportunity for you to work privately with students, meaning there's no middleman, no commissions to be paid, and you get to build a very strong and sustainable base of students taking lessons with only you. All right, now your lessons for the most part, right, will be the following, right? In terms of the content, a lot of people are asking, like, what would I be teaching these students, right? And there is a variety of different things, right? Now, I know a lot of people are afraid that they don't understand grammar, they can't explain grammar, things like that. Do not be worried about that whatsoever, because we give you and we teach you all of those things. We show you exactly how to teach grammar, conversation, and other things in our courses. But basically, the content of your lessons will vary from conversational lessons. The majority of my students simply want someone who speaks English fluently to have a conversation with them and to give them a bit of feedback as to what they're doing wrong, the mistakes they're making, and to help them to correct those mistakes. Some students also require some help with grammar. Again, that's something that we help you with in our course. So don't be worried if you are not very knowledgeable on grammar. I didn't used to be when I started in my first 6 months or 1 year of teaching, but you learn very quickly, and the course material we provide you really helps with that. You also have a lot of online students that need your help with task-related things such as presentations, meetings, interviews in English. And they simply want to practice those things with you and want some feedback from you to help them to do those things better. And then last but not least, exam preparation. Now, what I mean by exam preparation is the fact that so many online students want to immigrate abroad to English-speaking countries. They may want to study abroad in English universities, and they're willing to pay you to help them prepare for these admission exams that would allow them to immigrate. This is a very good way for those of you already teaching online to earn a substantially better income from online teaching, as the payment for these lessons are quite a bit higher than your regular conversational lessons. And I'll also show you what we have on offer to help you earn a better income. Now, your classroom as an online teacher, a lot of people are asking, like, where would you be teaching? Would you be using Zoom or Skype or whatever? And the answer is yes and no. So if you're working for an online school or academy, they all have their own online classrooms. They provide you with all the necessary training you need to use their platform. You don't have to know it. You don't have to be an expert on that for online schools. For freelance platforms, private students, you will use Zoom, Skype, Google Meet. And in our mentorship program that I'll talk a little bit more on later, we also show you how to use these different tools. So don't be worried if you are not very familiar with them. Another question that I get asked frequently is about the hours. So a lot of people hear stories that they might have to teach at 2 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night, which if you really want to, you probably could, but it's not necessary. I am currently teaching only between 8 o'clock in the morning up until about 6 or 7 o'clock at night. So the hours are very reasonable, because the two biggest markets you will be working with are Asia as well as Europe. Now, for Europe, for 6 months of the year, Europe has exactly the same time zone as South Africa. For the other 6 months, they are just 1 hour behind us. And this means, especially after COVID, most of these Europeans are working from home. So they don't have to wait until after work to take a lesson. Most of them like to take lessons during their work days. And so that works very well, because their time is for the most part the same as South Africa. In the Asian context, whether it be China, Japan, Vietnam, Taiwan, they are anywhere from 5 to 7 hours ahead of us, which means if someone wants to take a lesson, let's say at 8 p.m. In Japan, that would mean that it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon in South Africa. So the time zones really work well with the South African time zone, and you will not have to wake up at crazy hours in order to teach English online. It's very convenient in terms of the time. Now, on to probably one of the most important questions. How much will you earn from online teaching, right? And I have made some math for you that you can consider. And I noticed that some of you in our poll that we ran have indicated that you either want to earn something between 0 and 10,000 Rand a month, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. And I do want to say that those ranges are entirely possible for you. It just depends on how many hours you have available to work per week. Now, if we look at the first option, which is online schools, right? Remember that I said online schools tend to pay a little bit less than freelance platforms. But even that said, you can have bargain on the following. The fact that you will earn as a teacher with no online English teaching experience, you can expect to earn anywhere from $6 to $10 per hour, which with the current exchange rate is anywhere from, let's say, 120 to 190 Rand per hour. Now, let's say you work 10 hours per week at that rate. That means you will earn around 7,680, or at the very least, depending on how many dollars per hour you get paid, 4,600 Rand. If you work 20 hours per week, you will earn 15,360 Rand per month, or worst case scenario, 9,260. If you decide to work 30 hours per week, you will earn 23,000 Rand per month, or worst case scenario is 13,824. And again, this is in the context of working for online schools. Now, the median rate for teachers working for online schools is about $13 per hour, or about 250 Rand per hour. If you have that rate working 10 hours a week, you will earn just under 10,000 Rand a month. If you're working 20 hours per week, a part-time job, basically, you will earn just under 20,000 Rand per week. And if you work 30 hours per week, you will earn just under 30,000 Rand per week. So as you can see, the beauty of this working as an online teacher from South Africa is you get paid in US dollars, which makes sure that you earn a very good income in rands if you do the math on that. Now, moving on to freelance platforms. Remember, as I said, that on freelance platforms, you have the potential to earn quite a bit more. Let's look at how this picture looks. The average rate for people working on freelance platforms is about 17.5 US dollars. And this was about 2 years ago, I have to say that, which is about 336 Rand per hour. If you work 10 hours a week, you will earn about 13,500 Rand. 20 hours a week, 26,800 Rand. If you work 30 hours per week, you will earn just over 40,000 Rand per month. Again, the good thing about the dollar-rand exchange rate for us as online teachers working from South Africa. The average earnings for South Africa, this was, I believe, in 2022, was that eTEFL teachers in South Africa earn anywhere from 17 to 28,000 Rand per month. And again, these numbers are a bit outdated as it's from about 2 years ago. Now, I want to quickly show you some of the teachers that have gone through our programs and how they are doing on freelance platforms specifically. Here we have one of our teachers called Angus on a platform. Here you can see he currently has 23 active students. He's taught about 1,800 lessons, and he's charging $25 per hour, which is about 450 Rand per hour, which is a very, very good rate. Here we have Desi, also doing a very good job at 40 active students. She has taught over 3,000 lessons on this platform, charging about 19 US dollars per hour. Moving on to Deline, 10 active students, taught almost 800 lessons, charging 15 US dollars per hour. Next up, we have Dinette. She actually very recently did our mentorship program, and she currently has 24 active students. She has not been teaching online even for a year. She's been teaching online probably for about 9 to 10 months. She already has 24 active students, charging $12 per hour. Last but not least, we have Fabi, 23 active students, taught 1,560 lessons, earning 11 US dollars per hour. So as you can see, the training that we're offering, the industry really allows you to make a success of this and to earn a very good and sustainable income as an online teacher. Now, moving on to another important question of who can become an online English teacher. There are only 3 requirements that I'm sure all of you on this call would meet. Number 1, you have to speak English fluently. Doesn't need to be your first language. You just need to speak it fluently. Secondly, enjoy working with people, because obviously you would be working with people, although it is online. And thirdly, you need to have a laptop or a computer with a webcam and an internet connection. And if I say those are all the requirements, I really do mean that those are all the requirements. You need nothing more. Anything else that you need, those things we do provide you in our courses that I'll talk about in just a moment. We have helped over the past 4 to 5 years, we have helped lawyers, nurses, teachers, real estate agents, financial professionals, salespeople, occupational therapists, pastors, secretaries, IT professionals, graphic designers, stay-at-home moms, single parents, retirees, university students, and project management. We have helped people from pretty much all walks of life get into the world of online ESL teaching, and they are having a ball, whether it is full-time or part-time. This is a career that you do not have to do full-time. If you just want to earn an extra income without quitting your job, it's entirely possible. Also, if you want to make a career change, as some of you on this call have indicated, this is entirely possible for you to do as an online English teacher. Now, with that said, where do we start? Okay, if you are strongly considering this, what are the first steps for you to take? Firstly, it's important that you get your TEFL certificate. That is the international minimum requirement for anyone who wants to become an online English teacher. Now, I'm sure that for some of you, if you hear the word course or qualification, you think studying long hours. Not at all, right? It's a very easy course. It's a 120-hour course, depending on how much time you have available. We have people doing it full time and finishing the certificate in anywhere between 3 to 5 weeks. For people doing it part-time, 3 to 5 months is a good time frame. Secondly, creating your resume and introduction video. Again, this is something we help you with in our courses. Third, applying for jobs. We help you with that in our courses. And finally, number 4, to start teaching English online. Our courses are all TEFL certified and internationally recognized, okay? We also offer a mentorship program. You will find that there are many courses out there online, many TEFL certificates that you can do, which might be very, very cheap and very promising. But the problem with many of these courses is they don't help you to find jobs. And that is what we do with the mentorship program. Once you've completed your TEFL certificate, we help you in the mentorship program to bridge from being a qualified teacher to being a working teacher, earning a good and sustainable income. We also offer a resource library for anyone who completes our courses. One of our courses, you get access to our resource library where you can download hundreds of free lesson plans to use in your lessons so that you don't have to design them yourselves. And lifetime support. We are one of the few schools or TEFL providers who, once you've completed your training, you're not on your own. We don't tell you good luck, be on your way. We involve you in a community where we offer continual support and help you to make the best of your career as an online English teacher. All right. Now, some of the options that we offer in our TEFL courses. So for those people who have not started at all, you don't have your TEFL certificate, you don't have anything yet, we have these 3 options for you. Our standard, professional, and advanced programs. Standard 120-hour package includes your TEFL certificate and a self-study version of the mentorship program where we help you to get a job. The downside of this is you don't get feedback on your experience, your CV, or your introduction video or anything. You basically do everything on your own. The professional 120-hour package includes your TEFL certificate as well as the live version on Zoom of the mentorship program, where one of our mentors looks at your experience, looks at your CV, helps you with the wording, looks at your video, helps you with the technicalities, comments on your interview preparation, and it's a much more personalized experience. Our final option, the advanced 150-hour course, includes your TEFL certificate, the live mentorship program, as well as a 30-hour practicum where you get the opportunity to teach real-life students in Asia and Europe, where they understand that you are a teacher in training. They don't pay for the lessons, but it's a really good environment for you to get some valuable teaching experience before you start teaching for payment. And this is also something you can put on your CV as online teaching experience. So that is a very good option for you to choose from as well. So these packages are for those people who have not started with anything whatsoever. Now, the next screen is for those people who have TEFL certificates, but maybe you don't have a job yet. You're still looking for a job. You're not working yet. I would recommend one of our mentorship programs. We have the standard career mentorship. That is access to the self-study version of the mentorship program. Again, where you're on your own, no one gives you feedback on your CV or your introduction video or anything. Next one is the professional career mentorship. where this includes the live mentorship program on Zoom, where someone comments on your experience, your CV, your introduction video, your interview preparation, and helps you really effectively. This also includes a specialist exam preparation course. So for those people who want to earn more from online teaching, this actually includes a course where we train you to help people pass exams they need to write in order to immigrate to an English-speaking country. And as I mentioned earlier, this will enable you to charge a lot higher rate compared to just someone teaching conversational English. The final option is the Advanced Career Mentorship Program, which includes the live mentorship program on Zoom. It includes the 30-hour practicum, where again, you have the opportunity to teach actual students, gain experience. And thirdly, it includes a specialist exam preparation course, where you get to be qualified, helping people prepare for the exams in order to immigrate, that enables you to charge a much higher rate as a teacher. Now, for those people joining this webinar live, right? Or for those people watching the recording of this webinar, we are running a promotion for the next week, right? Where you get 10% off of any of our course bundles, all right? If you use the promo code promo25 at checkout, okay? And this will be valid until next week, Friday at midnight, the 7th of February. So you get 10% off any of our programs or courses if you enroll within the next week before midnight, next week, Friday, the 7th of February. This is a very good deal considering everything that's included in those packages. Now, there are payment options, right? So you can pay via EFT, you can pay via credit card, or if you're a little bit cash strapped at the moment, we do offer a 3-month payment plan for our eTEFL course bundles, where you pay 50% once you enroll and you start working, you start studying. And then a month after that, you pay another 25%, and another month after that, you pay an additional 25% with 7% interest. So this just helps you that maybe if you don't have the cash ready at one point, you are also able to follow a payment plan that allows you to pay for your course over a period of 3 months. Now, we're almost at the end of our session together. If there are any questions about anything I've said, maybe any questions you have about online English teaching that I haven't answered yet, feel free to put it in the chat. I'll be happy to answer any questions at the end of our webinar. On screen right now, you will see our details, our website, my email address, and my number. You're welcome to send me an email, give me a call, send me a WhatsApp if you have any questions or you need any help in terms of your online teaching career and getting it started. I'm also offering all of those people who either have joined this webinar live tonight or you're watching the recording, I'm offering a free consultation call. So maybe if you've watched tonight's session and you still have some questions, or maybe you want me to help you figure out what is the best course option for you, feel free to book a call with me by scanning this QR code, or you can send me an email or a WhatsApp to schedule a call. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Maybe if there are some questions that you don't feel comfortable asking in this call, I'd be happy to get on a personal Zoom call with you and answer any questions you may have. But again, if you have any questions right now, feel free to post them in the chat. I'd be happy to address them. But just before we get to the Q&A section, again, if you want to book a call with me to ask me some more questions, feel free to scan this QR code. It's entirely free. Or if you feel more comfortable sending me an email or a WhatsApp message or giving me a call, my details are on the screen right now, and I'd be happy to guide you through any questions you may have. And as I've mentioned, everybody, I truly believe, and I've experienced this as an online teacher myself For us as South Africans, considering the dollar-rand exchange rate, considering our economy, I believe that online English teaching is one of the best alternative options for you to either supplement your income or to make a complete career change and start doing something else. I am a testament to that. I've been doing this for about 4.5 years now, and I'm loving every single moment of it because I get to control pretty much everything. How much I earn and how much I work and who I work with. Also very important, and it's a great privilege. And I truly trust and hope that those of you either looking for a career change, you want to break away from your job, or maybe if you just want to have some extra money at the end of each month and you'd like to do this part-time, this is an excellent option. We have helped hundreds upon hundreds of people be successful in this. We have a 91% success rate for people taking our courses, actually ending up finding jobs and working in a very sustainable way as online teachers. Now, folks, that is my story for tonight. I don't see any questions in the chat yet. Maybe going to give 10, 20 more seconds. If there are any questions, feel free to put them in the chat right now, or you can just unmute yourself, ask the question. If there's anything that you are still unsure about, now is the time. I'm going to give it about 10 or 20 seconds before we wrap up. Okay, I see we have a question from Sepang Zander. What happens if someone drops out during the course and wants to pick up where they left? What steps to take? Okay, good question, Sepang. So you have 6 months to complete your TEFL certificate, right? If you can't complete it within that time frame, you can just pause your course, and let's say 5 months later you want to restart it. There is an extension fee that you need to pay. That is, I believe it's 600 Rand that you pay, which gives you an additional month to complete your course. So let's say your 6 months runs out. You haven't finished your course. You will not be able to access your course. Let's say you wait 5 months and you say, I want to resume my course. You can contact us. We will send you the link. You pay the extension. Your course will be reactivated. All of your progress will be kept. You won't have to start from the beginning, and you can finish that within the extra time that you have paid for. Kalpana asks, hey everyone, what are the internet and computer specs required? Good question, Kalpana. So the internet specs, most schools will tell you that they require a minimum of 4 megabytes per second. Personally, I have found that that's a bit lacking in experience for the teacher and the student. I would recommend 10 megabytes per second is really sufficient for a good experience, and schools will not have a problem employing you if you show them that you have a 10 megs per second line, which means if you have access to fiber, I believe that their minimum speed with fiber is 10 megs per second. In terms of computer, you need a laptop or a computer with a webcam, a 720p webcam, which I believe is also the minimum. If you buy a webcam or something, that's the minimum quality. And also you need something that's at least an i5 processor or higher with at least 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's the minimum requirement. But again, if you've bought any laptop or computer in the last, let's say, 4 or 5 years, it should be perfectly fine and should meet those specs quite comfortably. Any other questions before we wrap up? Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions at this point. Just then, before we wrap up, final reminder, if you want to book a call with me to ask more questions, feel free to scan the QR code to book that call, or you are welcome to send me an email or a WhatsApp message. My information is on the screen right now. But with that said, everyone, I really want to thank you all for taking the time out of your Thursday evenings to join us in this webinar. I really do appreciate it. And I really look forward to working with you in order to launch your careers as online teachers. Thanks so much, and I wish you all a good week and a good weekend. Bye-bye.